And if you want to meet us outside on the other side of the street, you are more than welcome to do that. I cannot disclose what I can talk to you about outside, but if you want to come outside and speak to us generally about our thoughts and what we were going to do in our
campaigning.
Street.
Yeah, I mean,
Can't do it in
essentially-
here though.
Yeah,
Yes.
not in here at all, but you know what? I want people to know what it is that we're doing. I mean, the cameras asked us, the cameraman asked me, I guess, what have you done? It's like, well, today is my 90th day. Today is my 90th day in office. And that's a milestone,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
And
it
so, but in those 90 days, I passed the budget. That took 30 days right there, okay? There was that. I have been working with water, sewer, Cuyahoga County in order to get our roads, get the new pipes laid and get our roads repaired. We just talked about that today. I'm hoping that council will have a meeting, soon, because we have some legislation to bring before them that is not, it's not Sandra Morgan's legislation or anything like that, but it is in support of the water projects on Hayden,
Yes.
133rd Street, Shaw, and then some other streets that they're gonna be working on. And if we don't pass this legislation, we're in danger of losing money. So, yeah, and so.
Just need one more councilman here, we got two here.
Yeah, well, we will figure that out, and I will make sure. I just thought I would tell them that today when we were down here. But since there's no meeting, I'll make sure that they're aware that, this cannot be partisan in any way. We have to join hands to get this money, period, right? Yeah, don't forget, I have a town hall on Saturday at the Cleveland, or East Cleveland Public Library, at 11 until 1.
I would just like to make a comment. I would like to say, I thank you for your service. And yes, 90 days is most definitely a milestone, and we have seen some changes within the city within your 90 days.
Good, thank you.
And I thank you for continuing to do the work on the behalf of the citizens of East Cleveland.
Yes.
Because it seems as if council has seemed to have forgotten some of the roles within the city and what they're here to do.
Yeah.
And it would be great if we could figure out different means of communication. I do understand that you hold meetings at churches and things of that. However, some of us don't get that information. So if we can come up with some different ways to make sure all citizens have the information when you're out doing different events, it would be great. So we could be a part of that and we can support you.
I am working on that day and night. So one of our staff members, Erin Morris, is working to kind of reinstate our call system, because the previous administration took all the passwords and that and they were not sharing. And so it doesn't matter because we found another system anyway that is better because it's a more up-to-date system and it's also free for government entities. And so that's the good news.
You can leave your name and
Yeah,
number
so we
here.
don't have to even have to pay for that, which is good news. And so she's working on getting that platform laid out. Also working on getting our website and everything, organized and laid out. And then, we don't have a comms person. I would like to have one so that we can make sure that we get materials out and stuff like that in a timely basis, right? I like to think that I can do it all, but I can't do all of it. And so writing press releases and getting, newsletters and doing all that sort of thing is tough to do when you're doing other stuff. But you know what? We will get there, and believe me, I'm going to get there in a jiffy now. Yes, sir.
I want to bring to people's attention that those three councilmen, they never was voted enough. They were supported.
Yes.
And we went down to get a petition to remove them. Mr. Brewer did not turn in all the votes.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be going to court, and I guess Brewer, he left. But those people ain't supposed to be there.
Well, you know what? This is not my house. This is the courtroom by day, and it is the council chambers twice a month. And so I see Councilman Timothy Austin at the podium, and so I'm going to cede to the councilman.
I got a question.
Okay.
And so, what I've been discussing with the mayor is getting a little bit more
band together in order to accomplish. So if you could be so kind as to advise about the fiscal commission meeting on tomorrow, and some of those anomalies that are facing the city as of today.
All right, well, and so thank you for that. Tomorrow we have a fiscal oversight commission meeting. It is in the East Cleveland Public Library in the Ichabod Fluellen room. And it will be, I think, at 1 o'clock tomorrow is the time for that. I'm taking my sunshine law training tomorrow from 8 until 11 or 12. And right after that, then I'll be right over at the library. You know what, this is, we're at a little bit of a fork in the road. You know, Yogi Berra once said, if you see a fork in the road, take it. Well, you know what, we are at that fork right now. Our finances, although they are getting better, we're paying our bills, and people are feeling generally better about that. We're still way behind, right? We are way, way, way behind. And we are further behind than I would have even imagined, if I'm being honest, right? And so we've got to figure this out. Now, the state of Ohio has suggested that we make cuts. Well, first of all, day 2 of when I was in office, day 2, March 4th, my grandfather's birthday, I went to Columbus, and I was asked if I would be amenable to considering either receivership or bankruptcy. And I said no and no, absolutely not. First of all, why didn't you ask the previous mayor to file bankruptcy? Why are you going to wait and ask me that? And it's my second day. All right, that's a no. And then number 2, let's at least give me a chance to try. Right? Give me a chance. I mean, nothing ventured, nothing gained, but at least I'm going to give it the old college try, right? In order to get right our ship, to pay our bills, to find some other sources of revenue, and to grow our city. Because I happen to believe that we are not going to be able to slash and cut ourselves to prosperity. We have to, the only way we can do that is to grow. We've got to invite new families to move into East Cleveland, right? We've got to make it, enticing for them to come to East Cleveland. You know, I talked about these homes, right? You know, picking 10 homes and making it available to, you know, first-time home buyers, to young families. You have to live in the house for a certain number of years, and we're going to be able to help, you know, provide some money. And Aaron is working on the flyer now. We looked at the draft of the flyer, and you know, they've got it looks like about $20,000. The city can give through the homes program like $20,000 to people who would buy these homes and fix them up. What's the matter with that? You know, in my opinion, and these are homes that are beautiful in East Cleveland. You know, they're just a little, you know, they need work, but don't we all? You know, lose a pound or two, right? But anyway, you know, I'm excited about that. And if, you know, I know it doesn't sound like much, but 10 houses here, 10 houses there, all of a sudden those 10 houses add up. You know, and you've contributed to different neighborhoods. I was out yesterday and I saw a house that someone was working on, and you know what? They did a fantastic job. They, you know, and didn't even take really that much. They painted the house, you know, different colors. They trimmed the bushes and cut the grass. Then on the inside, they changed out the bathrooms, the kitchen, and they painted the rooms, you know, bright, cheery white, and fixed the windows. It's night and day. It looks fantastic, and it's available for any family. You know, and this house will be well within reason. You know, for somebody to, and it was a drug house before, right? And it's really cute. So, and there's enough bedrooms in there. There's like, I think 4 or 5 bedrooms. That's a good sized spot, right? One place could be an office. You know, I mean, you can let your imagination go wild in there. That to me is what is progress. That is, you know, a little at a time. I realize it's not gangbusters, but that's how we're going to get where we're going, in my opinion, anyway.
Well, how do you do that? One bite at a time.
Hey, we're going to take a few more questions, and we got to get going.
Yes, 2 ladies and then the gentleman. You could be our final word. How's that?
Ms. Green.
Okay.
Ms. Green.
Is it inappropriate at this meeting to ask a question about the salary of the new clerk of housing?
That would be a question for one of the council members. I was making 55.
if you stay around, we'll let the,
All right.
external question be
All
answered.
right,
Yeah.
Ms. Clark Warren.
I just want to congratulate you as well as members from my church have seen the change in the building, City Hall, with the windows where you stuff was yay high. They
That's
wanted
right.
me to commend you with, and also you can see through 'em.
Yes.
You can see through them, and that's, you don't have paper, you don't have boxes, they're gone.
That's right.
So they wanted me to say thank you for that.
Well,
Job
I'm glad
well
to know
done.
it. Thank you, because you know
I
what?
have
This
one quick
building-
question.
This
that's-
building
Hold on, Art.
did
let her
not
respond.
Okay,
reflect,
surely, sir.
You know, it didn't reflect on our city.
Thank
You know,
you.
people drive by and that's what they would say, oh my
Yes.
God, look at that building, it's
Yes.
horrible. You know, that wasn't a good reflection on us, and I know good and well it was not a reflection on me, because you know what, my mother taught me how to wash windows,
windows,
right,
yes.
and put up curtains,
Yes.
take them down in the spring and take them down in the fall, right, and wash and iron them. So, you know, to me, that just seems like second nature. That needs to be done. Our landscaping could use a little work, but you know what? We will get there.
Yes.
We did plant flowers over at the rec center, though. We had children planting the flowers,
Oh,
and they had a
wow.
ball doing that.
Okay.
You know, and they are growing, and it'll, you know, in another couple of weeks, it's going to look fantastic.
All right, I have a question.
All right,
All due respect, Honorable Mayor, my question is this.
I was next.
Okay, well, my question is this. It's very simple.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Austin, I'm a little confused. Who is the mayor at this time? I'm just confused. I'm 50-year resident, 40-year businessman out here. I'm just confused. I'm not on nobody's side. At this time, clear my head up. Who's the mayor?
Subject to me not being a judge to make that decision, I will wait for the answer myself.
Okay, so this my only question, and I love you all, is that if we don't know who the mayor is, how can our city function in this capacity with no one thinking about the greater good of all of the citizens? I'm confused.
Take the words off my mouth. Council Richardson.
Let's be perfectly honest. There's a lot of people who cares about the good of the residents and the city of East Cleveland, okay? There's a lot of shenanigans going on. It's been going on for quite a while. That's why we are here in this room tonight. Because we are fighting for not ourselves, but for our residents, and that includes you, okay? Until the judge makes a decision, our mayor is Mayor Morgan, okay? Because if you listen to Mr. O'Mays regarding the charter, if they had followed the charter without being selfish and without trying to appeal themselves to get power
Thank you.
on their own agenda, then things would have worked out the way they should have, okay? So we're at this point now and we can't go back.
Yes, ma'am.
We can go
All right,
forward.
Ms. Jacobs, and then former Councilwoman Graham, and then that's going to cut the.
Mayor Morgan, my question to you is, I'd like to know, are you gonna go by the 400 people that's been on that list for years? When you do those 10 houses?
Yes, we will, you know what, those 10 houses and so many more. And if what I wanted to do, and what I will do at some point, is post those 10 houses online, you know, bring them to our town hall meetings, like a little portfolio, along with the flyer and the banking information. And you know what, quite frankly, I won't say it's gonna be a free-for-all, but I will put you to the front of the line, how's that?
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, Councilwoman, former Councilwoman Graham.
I have a comment, and I just wanted to say that I admire your leadership that I've seen thus far. And it's a good day to see that the administration and council, or members of council, are trying to work forward, get in front of the story, trying to put information out there that all the residents need. Now, council is council, so council has to move as a body. And as far as what the administration is going on, as far as the duel of two mayors, council has to move how it needs to move. But one question there was a process as far as you being appointed.
Right.
And I believe that the now sworn in mayor, Lateef Shabazz, as far as on Sunday, he went through that process as well. And I don't know if maybe I can get clarification. But he actually went through the process to be, given the position of interim mayor as well as yourself under Judge Russo. So I just want to know, where's the energy coming from as far as now stating that you are mayor when you actually went through the process to be appointed? That's something that should have been raised prior to you going through the process.
Well-
And it is, the judge will work that out, but we have to think about the individuals that want to lead the city and what they have to offer. And, like I said, council, you do what council is supposed to do. You legislate and you appropriate. And we cannot get involved in what's going on with that in court cases because council still has to do that legislation. You gotta write it, you gotta listen to your constituents, and you gotta do what's necessary. And that's what I
The word.
Thank you. Well,
Yeah,
if I
good
can
work.
just respond to you,
Yes.
and Mr. Mays will be the last word, but you're right, there was a process, and for better or for worse, the state of Ohio made the determination that the appellate court judge could decide who was going to be the mayor. And there were 34, 35 applicants for that role. I just happened to be the lucky one that was chosen, right? I mean, that was the bottom line. And there was a process. There was a legal process. The judge was able to make a decision, a determination, and his determination was upheld by the Ohio Supreme Court. The Ohio Supreme Court judged that the standing of the appellate judge stood, right? It was cut and dry, and that's it. I can't speak to what Mr. Shabazz did in terms of his process of becoming mayor. I mean, he was not chosen by the judge, all right? He
Or
was
the
not,
people.
yeah, or the people, but, I mean, he was not chosen by the judge. I was chosen, I was appointed, I went through the vetting and everything that you need to do, and here I am. And so, again, I was a little surprised on Sunday, when I heard that he was sworn in, because it was by another member of council. It was, I don't know, it was,
It was not public and it was not a
correct.
It was
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's that, and, I mean, it is what it is, right? I'm not responsible for that. I'm not, I'm not gonna get any more gray hair over it, right? Not gonna worry about that. I'm just going to continue to be Sandra Morgan and to be the best person that I can be in this role to keep business moving and work on behalf of you all.
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Mays, can you keep it real short? You got to speak twice tonight in an unofficial situation, but we got to get outside and work in labor. If y'all come
I
out.
just need to say this. There were, I don't know how many people was here when they met on Sunday. I know it wasn't before council. The charter says the council as a whole, not 2, 3, or 4. Council as a whole. They make the decision, what have you. And that was not done. I follow this charter.
It wasn't a public
And-
announcement.
So, therefore, their meeting was just in vain. Now, until which time the judge make a decision, she will remain the mayor, whether you like it or not.
And I've said before, and I will say it again, I will live by whatever the judge says, right? When the
Yeah.
judge says, time for you to go, then I'm gone, right? I'm home in my backyard, maybe having a martini or two. I'll be over. And planting flowers and preparing for November.
For November.
Yeah, but right now, I feel comfortable that, I am feeling comfortable that I am in the seat until the judge says otherwise.
Yes. Amen.
All right, everybody, we're going to escape to outside if you want to come and talk outside and
Thank you.
take care of it if we can.
If you want to stay, you have a few things that are on your mind, things you'd like to see on the upcoming agenda for the next few community meetings. One is taking place on the 7th, respectively.
11
Town
o'clock.
Hall.
11 o'clock. It's 11 to 1.
11.
11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the East Cleveland Library.
Thank you, Sid.